Hey everyone, Ben from Postflight here, and today we're tying this balanced leech pattern. One of the most popular lake patterns out there, the creative weighting on these flies sets them in the water unlike anything else. This particular pattern's few materials make them a quick and easy tie. It's definitely worth having these around. We'll start by locking in one of our kit's jig hooks. Tie in just behind the hook eye and wrap down about half of the shank. Now grab a needle and bead and carefully thread the bead against the needle head like so. Lay the threaded needle on top of the hook shank and tie in so that the beaded portion begins in front of the hook eye. Completely cover the area where the needle meets hook shank with a good amount of thread. You can even put some super glue here if you'd like. Now go to your black marabou, using a good strand of uniform webby fibers to create a tail. This tail should be at least a hook shank in length, but don't be afraid to go a little long here if you'd like. Once secured, snip and tie down the excess marabou. Some flash will add a bit of shimmer to our leech. Use one strand, tying it in at its midpoint on one side of the shank. When one end is secured along the tail, bring the forward-facing end around the shank and tie it back on the other side of the shank. You can snip both back-facing strands so that they're about the length of the marabou tail. The rest of our body will be made out of this bruised dubbing mix. Take a healthy clump and start pulling it apart, aligning the fibers and creating a short stack like so. The end result should be something like this, which you can set aside for a minute. Back at the vise, create a dubbing loop by lengthening your thread, looping it around your finger, and tying off at the shank to close. While keeping tension on the loop, carefully load in the stack dubbing, doing your best to keep them centered. Use a dubbing spinner to tighten up the loop and the dubbing inside, creating a thick rope like so. You can then use a brush to pick out trapped fibers, ensuring there is plenty of scruff coming out of the loop. With your dubbing loop set, advance your thread up the shank and part of the needle to right behind your bead. Start following with your dubbing loop, brushing back the fibers as you go. When you reach the front of the shank, continue up the needle to meet the bead. Then tie off and snip your excess. Take your whip finisher and make a few turns right behind the bead, then snip your thread free. Go back to your brush and hit the whole dubbing body, freeing more trapped fibers and matted down turns until all the dubbing strands are combed rearward. Your balanced leech is now good to go. This fly rides with the hook point up, with the shank parallel to the bottom thanks to that weighted pin. Fish it under an indicator in lakes and rivers. Current, a light chop, or even some tiny strips will give this leech a nice wavy movement subsurface. Hope you put it to use soon. Thanks for watching.